Traffic is what it is. You can't get out of it. You don't have a choice.
If you want to go somewhere, that's where you've got to go, and you've just got to do it. The biggest thing I've learned is patience.
I do like to use quieter roads. If I have to head into the heavier traffic, I'll try and choose, first of all, times of day when possibly it's not going to be that frenetic and frantic. But if it just is that time of day, there's certain things that I can do to make myself more visible and safer on the road. It is nerve-wracking as a cyclist to have somebody sitting so close up behind you, because they're in a big metal box that needs a lot more space to stop if they have to hit the brakes. So if they just gave me a few more seconds to actually make a decision, look ahead, judge what's around me, and if there is a bit of a queue building up behind me, I'll find a safe spot to pull over and shelter and let them pass and then hook back in again.
Make sure that you're visible, you're bright, and be predictable so that they know what I'm doing. If you're zigging and zagging in and out of the sides of the roads as you're going because you're wanting to hug the pavement because you're a little scared, well, for a driver that must be so confusing. Is that person pulling over or are they pulling out? What are they doing? It's not predictable. So I ride that little bit further out. By being that little bit further out, I don't have to duck and dive around all that stuff that is on the road or park cars.
When you're driving in your car, you just drive over things. You don't feel the tin can that you drive over or the pine cone that's fallen off the tree.
Riding just that little bit further out, giving yourself that little bit of buffer space away from all that rubbish means that you don't have so many things that can trip you up. But also riding that little bit further out means you can actually look ahead.
I can keep a smooth straight line, and if I can ride a straight line, I can ride faster. Bonus to everybody, I get there quicker, get myself out of that bigger traffic flow faster, but I'm not holding anybody up either. Looking back is where cars are coming from, so looking over your right shoulder and making sure you know what's coming up behind you can also help you then when you're looking forward, that 20, 30, 50 metres down the road to predict what's coming up, so that you can make judgment calls that are safe and courteous, knowing what's coming up behind you as well.
We've just all done a safe ed course through, and my drivers put them all through that. And part of that is anticipating. And that goes with cyclists, other road users, cars and everything like that. You're watching, you're forever watching. What are they doing? How can I keep going? What can I do here? Your head does not stop. You're looking sideways, backwards, mirrors, constantly. It's better for the truck to hold back than the cyclist. We don't know where the cyclists are going. Sometimes they indicate, sometimes they don't. You pull up to the section, they can go anyway. And if I'm driving along and I see a cyclist coming up towards it, I'll hang back. Then I know where he is the whole time. I pull up into the section and I'll pull quite close to the curb so I know that somebody cannot come up on the inside of me. But then when you've got to turn the corner, you've got to pull wide to go round. You've got 20 metres of trailer behind you. And it's not going to follow you around in a perfect circle, it's going to cut in. If there's somebody there, that's when trouble can happen. I do get cyclists come up on the inside and they'll stop in front of me, and sometimes I've just been lucky that I've seen them. You were quite high up, and on the left-hand side by the passenger's door, it's a blind spot. You can't see if somebody's there or not.
I really love that signage on the trucks, if you can't see my mirror, I can't see you. And that is so true, because there's so many blind spots, particularly on the bigger vehicles. So hold back. If you feel like you need or you want to get up to the stop box, the bike box up the front, make sure you go up the right-hand side, because drivers are looking out for things in that right-hand mirror more than they are on the left. There are too many blind spots on the left.
If they're right in front of you, you've probably got about 3 or 4 feet in front that you can't see unless you're leaning over the steering wheel and looking down.
Eye contact is probably one of the most important visual things. It's that connection, it's that acknowledgement that you've seen them and they've seen you. So if you are in the front, look back, actually give the guy a little wave, acknowledge them. Again, it's another thing to say, I've seen you, I've acknowledged you. When those vehicles come past at speed, there's that feel of being sucked in. It's almost like they've created this vortex that's pulling you towards them, and you hanging on for dear life and pedaling and trying to pull in the opposite direction. It makes you feel very vulnerable.
It makes you very aware of how little you are and how quickly things could go wrong.
I've tried to tell all my drivers too, we're driving a branded truck. It's got the name of the company all over it, so you're driving a big billboard.
So if you start driving bad, people are going to notice and complain about it. It's bad for morale, it's bad for business.
If I show them positive, responsible, polite riding or driving, invariably the response back to me is delivered in return, which is fabulous.
Like if I back off and then they'll just wave to me acknowledging it. It's just an acknowledgement thing, and then you feel pretty good about it, and I suppose they feel good too. So you're helping them, they're helping you. We're all on the road together. We're all road users and we all have a liability to each other to get home safely. Everyone wants to go home at night. So let's share the road. Let's be responsible. Let's see what we're doing. Let's let other people know what we're doing. We can all work together.
I can't change other road users' behaviour, but I can change mine. Why don't you prepare yourself for encountering bad behaviour by other road users? When I encounter bad behaviour, I'm going to ask myself, why did that person do that? It might not be a good answer, but asking that question will take you closer to that person's world, and it will help you manage your response. If you can delay acting on your anger or frustration, the likelihood of you doing so will be reduced.